This week, I think it runs until Sunday night, is Negroni week. All around the world is Negroni week. So I thought it'd be rude not to attack the Negroni. It's one of those cocktails that I've grown into over the years. I wouldn't say, sorry, I keep having to do that to Insta and that to that. Who's that? There's loads of people coming on Insta. Hello, hello, hello. Loads of people on Insta. It's one of those cocktails that I've grown into over the years. When I was kind of mid-20s, probably very early 30s, I really didn't like a Negroni. It was kind of too bitter for my palate. However, definitely, I keep saying 5 years, but probably in the last 7-8 years or so, my palate has steadily become less sweet. So I really do appreciate the Negroni, and I love little riffs and tricks that we can put on Negronis as well. So for those of you that don't know, Negroni is very simple. 3 ingredient cocktail. Traditionally Campari, and that's what puts a lot of people off straight away. Traditionally Campari, traditionally a Rosso Vermouth. You might be thinking Martini. Martini is the obvious brand of vermouth that you can get in most supermarkets up and down the UK. So this is just a brand that I've got. This is absolutely lovely, this stuff. I love it. It's got saffron and God knows what in it. So vermouth, sorry to explain it, a vermouth is basically an aromatized wine. Lots of herbs, spices going. Every vermouth is kind of like a different recipe. They're all about sort of wine ABV strength, like 12, 14, 16% ABV. And they do keep, because they're aromatized and they've got all the herbs and spices, they do keep slightly longer. However, you still need to treat them as wine, essentially. Okay, so they do kind of need to be kept in the fridge. It's not to say that they are going to go off after 6 months, but they are definitely 100% not going to taste as good after a month as what they did do when they were open fresh. So they're not going to turn to vinegar straight away in that sort of sense like wine does, but you will you won't have the same taste as what you will do when you open it fresh. So that's why vermouth should be drunk within like 4 or 5 weeks once opening and kept in the fridge. So we've got a Campari, we've got a vermouth, and then for a normal Negroni, hey Trevor, morning Trevor. For a normal Negroni, we do kind of go a nice punchy London dry gin. So that is equal measures, and I'm going to make one up in a minute, but I've got lots of riffs here to go, so I'm not going to waste my Negroni, my proper big Negroni, on a normal one, because that'd be done and boring. I've now got lots of these little tasting glasses in here as well, so we're going to make up lots of little samples, better than plastics. So that is standard Negroni. Now, the little riff, the big riff on this is a Boulevardier, which is still technically classed as a Negroni, sort of. It's just a different name. Boulevardier is, and I know before the Americans come in, I know this is not a bourbon, but the Boulevardier is essentially bourbon instead of gin. Okay, so an American whiskey. So you've got American whiskey, Campari, and your vermouth. And actually, I do, because I'm not a huge gin lover, I actually do prefer a Boulevardier over a Negroni. So again, equal measures, and let's get into it. I'm going to show you the third riff before, because what I've got coming up for the sort of next 20 minutes or so, I've got lots of different sort of Campari alternatives, which again float your boat, and lots of different ingredients to make different sort of Negronis for you. So I'm not going to do a Boulevardier. One of the best, I don't even know what it's called, but one of the best Negronis that I've had recently was actually Chairman's Reserve spiced rum. Really tasty. Now, I haven't got any Chairman's Reserve spiced rum here, but what I have got is DMF, Dead Man's Fingers. So I'm going for a kind of spiced rum kind of Negroni. I don't know what a rum Negroni is called. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm sure it's got a name, but I can't think of it. So I'm assuming Trevor, you probably got a name for this. I don't know. So I have got a big, I've got a rocks glass here. Negronis are faff-free. You don't have to kind of shake them. In fact, you don't shake them at all. You stir them down in a glass. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to do equal measures. So Campari, essentially, I'll talk through Campari in a minute, but it's kind of like a bitter aperitif. Think Aperol. We've got Aperol down below, but I've got a few other ingredients to go for as well. So I've got a 25ml of Campari. We will do a 25ml of vermouth. 6 a.m. in Trevorland. Hey Ash, how are you? So 25ml of vermouth. And then I'm going to do 25ml of Dead Man's Fingers spiced rum. And I've got a funny feeling for pubs and bars in the UK, this could be quite a cool little riff, because obviously it's going to give you slightly sweeter undertones and a bit of sort of fun spice to it. Like this is like sort of vanilla forward, so kind of spiced rum might be something different to your normal kind of gin-based Negronis. So have a little try of that. Now, normally, if you're going to do this professional in a top-end hotel bar, you would kind of use a bigger, hello Instagram, sorry, I keep forgetting about you. You would use a bigger mixing glass, lots of ice, and then you'd kind of just pour it in, decant it into your proper sort of serving glass. However, I'm just going to stir it straight up in here. Oh, my ice is straight out the freezer, that'll do. And this is why I love this spoon, the teardrops, instead of the sort of things at the end. The teardrop spoons are perfectly balanced for stirring, and I actually used the actual teardrop end for this. So we'll get rid of that. Look, we don't want that. A quick stir like that, and you'll find that your sort of fun. I mean, the professionals will stir drinks without even moving this part of the wrist. They've got this sort of roll going on between their fingers like that. I never mastered that technique, but it's much quicker to kind of stir down a Negroni like that. Now, stirring down, with old fashions for me, I kind of, sorry, I've got a bit of hair somewhere. Old fashions kind of try and double the amount of liquid to give that dilution. Negronis, I kind of haven't found my perfect sort of point yet, to be honest. I kind of just stir to chill the drink down. That's all. I kind of just like it, especially with that vermouth. So that's the shot, yeah. It's not for Instagram. There we go. Especially for that vermouth, it's like a really nice, much better than martini or anything like that. So we kind of do that. We'll leave that there, and then typical garnish is just kind of either an orange peel or an orange slice, and that, believe it or not, is actually going to be my first ever Dead Man's Fingers spiced rum Negroni. And I have to say, that's really nice. It does give it a slight hint of sweetness to it, which kind of balances out the dryness, the bitterness from the Campari. Campari is a real love or hate thing. We use it quite a bit in rum cocktails as well, maybe like 10 ml, just to kind of add a little bit of bitterness to the overall cocktail. But that is really, really tasty. So what's going on? Are you lot just chatting to yourselves, which is fine? Trevor, they're all giving Trevor banter and Ash banter. That's cool. Right. Don't forget, if you've got a question, big capital letters, question in the comments, that'll do. So that's kind of a spiced rum Negroni. I'll have to research what a name for a rum Negroni is. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Trevor Rose, I'm looking at you. You'll have the name for this, or Ross, or someone will be sitting there on a computer Googling. So, which way should we do this first? Let's go the whole Campari route for this first. There's not really much to talk about in the whole vermouth point. There are lots of different brands of vermouth. You kind of just have to find your preferred brand. Lustau for me is a really great brand as well. It's kind of sherry-based vermouth, which I absolutely adore. I really love that. But obviously, I don't need 2 vermouths at a time, so I've got this one. It'll last me a good few months. There's no point in me having other vermouths at home because I very rarely use it. But cracking. So find your perfect vermouth for you. We'll flip out the base spirits in a second, but I just want to talk you through the aperitifs, the Amaros, whatever you want to classify them as. So we've got 3. Well, we've got 2. Let's go for the 2. The 2 obvious ones at the moment are Aperol and Campari, actually produced by the same people. Aperol is not as strong. I think it's where are we? Yeah, it's less than half the ABV of Campari. So it hasn't got the overall feisty bitterness to it, but it's still there a little bit. And it's quite a low ABV, the Aperol Spritz essentially is kind of a low ABV cocktail. So you can use the whole Aperol thing. It's slightly sweeter, slightly fruitier notes to it. So, you can swap there. It's not going to give you the same thing. If you want to try a Negroni, then go Campari first and foremost. But Aperol will give you a kind of a different flip on that. Now, let's get into... actually, let's go this way first. I'll talk about that one in a second. This has been gifted to me by my friends at Master of Malt, Steve the Barman's friends, not Drinkstuff's friends. Mondino, this is a German... hang on, let's do Instagram first. I know that way. I know Instagram's back to front. I'm really, really sorry. But Mondino, there we go. YouTube and Facebook. So this is a German Amaro essentially. Now, Amaro is the big overall classification of these drinks. This one is distilled with oranges, rhubarb, and yellow gentian roots in there. Okay, so slightly, but sort of similar. I've got a feeling Aperol's got a slight hints of rhubarb in it. Don't hold me to that. But slightly different. There's definitely no rhubarb in the Campari. So again, we've got a slightly different tasting aperitif, Amaro, bitter aperitif, whatever you want to call it, a slightly different one. And I've just had a little play with that, and that's the one I'm going to use for some of these, because I've just had a little sample, and that's actually really nice. So I say again, orange peel, rhubarb, and yellow gentian roots in there. Really nice. So German there. The other one I want to shout out, and regulars to me, my channel, will know all about this one because I absolutely adore this. This is Pampel. Let's go Instagram first. Pampel, and there we go, Facebook and YouTube. Now, what this is, I absolutely love this. This is, so again, it's not as strong as Campari. And what's Mondino? Mondino is, yeah, so Aperol is the lowest ABV by a long way. These two are pretty close. This one's 18% ABV. This one's 15% ABV. And then Campari goes up to 25% ABV. So that's why it's more bitter. It's quite stronger. This one is grapefruit forward. And it is gorgeous. There's something about grapefruit and bitter that just kind of works. It's got a little element of sweetness to it as well, but really does put fun riffs on like Negronis, on Americanos. I'm going to do an Americano at the end for you as well, because the Americano is a great long mixed drink, kind of like the Negroni. It's all part of the Negroni family. But all of these, I mean, other serves, I said the Americano is just basically a different kind of gin and tonic, essentially. It's kind of like an Amaro and tonic. That's what the Americano is with your vermouth. But all these, you know, spritzes, tonic, sort of soda, lemonade, they are great drinks because not everyone's got a sweet tooth these days. Everyone loves a bit of bitterness. All roughly between the 11, 12 and... I don't know what Campari goes up to now, but definitely about £20. I know the Mondino was gifted. I haven't got a price on that, I'll be honest. And the Pampel was gifted as well, so I don't actually know how much they are. But if you like the sort of bitter element to cocktails, well worth having a try. So let's. Hey Damo, is anyone? They're just called rum. Oh, Trevor's answered. They've just called it rum Negroni, exception of, hang on, let's put on this in here. Oh, I've heard of that actually, Kingston Negroni. Yes, I have heard of that. So rum Negronis are rum Negronis, whereas whiskey Negronis are Boulevardios, especially when they're made with American bourbon. There we go. So Kingston Negroni, obviously Kingston, Jamaica. I had heard of that, familiar. Hey Damo in China, how are you? So let's get riffing up. This is really tasty. I've drunk out of that, so sorry office if any of you are watching. So the first riff I'm going to do for you, what's first in my little lineup? First one I'm going to go for, I'm not going to bother with the gin or the plain gin, sorry, or the whiskey. That's a bit dull. I'm going to go for kind of a rhubarb Negroni. Again, big favourite of mine. Now, I will be honest, I've got the bottle down there. I was going to be using Whitley Neal, a gin, rhubarb gin. Except there's nothing in the bottle. I've brought in an empty bottle here. All my Dead Man's Fingers, all my JJs, all my Whitley Neals are now here and will be under the bar when the shelves and all that go up. They will be here for me to play with. So I brought all my stuff in from home essentially. So instead of the gin, I'm going for a vodka. And I'm going to do little measurements of these. So we're going to do basically halves. All right, there's no point doing full shots. That's a bit of a wasteful. So 15 mils of rhubarb vodka. So this is kind of like a rhubarb Negroni. I've got a fun one coming up for you in a second. 15 ml of your Campari, or in this case Mondino. I'm assuming that's how you'd say it in German, don't know. And then, let's put that one to one side. And then your vermouth, red vermouth. So 15 ml of that. Magic. Maybe closer to 20. That's probably 18. Right, just a single ice cube. That'll do for now. A little bit of a stir to chill it down. What's Damo laughing at? Oh, Pampel. Oh, there we go. Ross is on it. Ross is my my man that comes up with all the offers and stuff. So 18 to 20 pounds, Pampel. So that's probably going to be your most expensive one out of the lot. There we go. Now, just in case there's not many people in the office today, so I don't think many of them are going to try it. But what I will do, just in case they do, I will have little samples in my little sample cups, just in case anyone wants a rhubarb Negroni. Wow, I love that. Rhubarb gin. Rhubarb gin for me is one of my favourite Negronis. I think I did have about two or three videos of that on my channel before I took them all off to niche down into rum. Rhubarb, and that's, you know, that's why. Well, that's distilled with rhubarb anyway, but rhubarb works really, really well with Campari and those kind of bitter things. It's just that sort of flavour combo that's amazing. Yeah, big fan of that. So that's the first one. The second one I'm going to do, be rude not to. I've got three more to do. So 1, 2, 3. It's time, keep 9 at a time. Brilliant. Paul, what's... hang on, have I missed some banter? Paul's laughing. Oh,
no, I'm just doing the cocktail.
Laura's in. You want the rhubarb one?
Yeah.
There you go. I've not touched the glass. What's... why is... People are laughing. What have I missed? Question. Oh, here we go. That's what I've missed. How much would it cost for you to be my full-time bartender in my home? Up north, well, you'd have to get a decent football team up there first, mate. So, this is another thing that was gifted to me. I don't pay for much. This is Master of Bolt. This is their Jaffa Cake gin, but I'm not sure if you can see this properly. This is the passion fruit Jaffa Cake gin. Can we see that? There we go. In Insta. I know you're back to front on Insta. But we've got passion fruit Jaffa Cake. Now, I have done the Negroni with the normal passion fruit, Jaffa Cake gin, and it is gorgeous because you've got orange and chocolate notes in there. But this passion fruit stuff is amazing. So if I kind of put that there, you can have a little look at that without it being on camera. There we go, that works perfectly. Right, so back to my Campari, Mondino, Aperol, whatever you fancy. 15ml of that. And we are going back to my 15ml of Vermouth. Vermouth, there we go. Right, so we should get like chocolate and orange notes coming through, but with like lovely sort of passion fruit notes as well. So that's the ice scoop on the floor. Get in the old, there we go. My ice cubes are too big for the glasses. Look, there we go, get in the old, there we go. Right, quick stir. Hope you don't need... Oh, he's still got the strawberry. That's Boss Man. He's still got the strawberry strawberry passion fruit, the strawberry Monin puree on. It's all right. We need to do, Paul. We need to do a taste test. One of my little experiments I'm doing is seeing how long we can keep one open before it goes off Monin, because they say use within 30 days, and I don't believe them. I think they're telling porcupines. I reckon we could get a good 6 months out of that easily. So this again, I will decant just in case someone wants to try it. So this is a passion fruit chocolate, a passion fruit Jaffa Cake Negroni. It's a bit of a long one. Oh, I don't actually get much passion fruit off that. I get the chocolate and orange now. Oh, no, yeah, no, slightly. Yeah. Chocolate is the first note I get off that. I think I prefer the rhubarb straightaway. I absolutely love the normal Jaffa Cake as a Negroni, but the passion fruit's a little bit. Not sure I get much passion fruit off that. It's a bit disappointing actually. Yeah. A bit disappointing. So, which is kind of good, because the next one I've got lined up is actually blood orange, or because blood orange is kind of more bitter than a normal orange, and that goes really, really well in a Negroni as well. So we'll have a little one. The last one's a bit crazy though. Stay tuned for the last one in a second. I've got some questions. Well, I suppose we could go watch Middlesbrough. They're like the best team up there now, aren't they? Or have Durham got a team? Durham Town Rovers or what? I don't know. Right, Laura. Would people kill me for adding a splash of lemonade to a Negroni? No, because that is what is coming up in a second, Laura. That is what is coming up in, well, maybe 200 seconds. Let's do this one first. So this is the orange. And I've got something slightly better than lemonade. Although lemonade could work. Something slightly better. So let's hide that. Yes, Steve, up the borough. Hang on, are you... Wait, hang on a minute. You're confused. Are you Borough? Ash, are you Borough? I thought you were Sunderland or in Newcastle. No, I don't know. Oh, he's going to kill me. It's private in joke. Private in joke. Sorry, Ashley. Sorry, Ash. Baby daddy. Right. There we go. So 15 mil, 15 mil, and 15 mil. Laura, can I sort of come back to that question? Is it wrong? So would people kill me for adding a splash of lemonade? Is that purely because it's a bit too feisty and you need something to lengthen it out? That's what I would naturally guess from that. So we've got that and that and that. One more crazy Negroni to come before I do the Americano. Let's go for that ice cube there. And another little stirry. Right. So this is the blood orange, and I know this works very, very well. We go blood orange gin, obviously. I think there's, I think I've got the Whitney Neal orange gin down there. I'm not sure how much of it is in there. Here we go. So that's there. Again, people in the office, if you want them, they're there. So this is the orange one. Ah, see, that is head and shoulders above the passion fruit. Head and shoulders above the passion fruit one. It's just that orange. Something about orange, because you garnish them with an orange anyway. That, oh, I like the rhubarb. That's, oh, I'm not sure which one's my favourite now out of those two. Right. And now the last one we're going to do. I still want a bit of lemonade just to dilute it slightly. For a little bit of sweet, although this one isn't as bitter as I thought it would be. That Laura's got the, so that's Laura in the office. That Laura's got the rhubarb. Yes. So this one is slightly crazy. Hazelnut. Now, I'll be honest, I have done Frangelico Negronis because it's a big thing, because Frangelico is out that way anyway. I know it's like Belgian monks, but they, you know, it's kind of big thing on the in Italy and around there. So they kind of do like that. They've got what's the hazelnut in Noccello. I forget which way around it is now. One's hazelnut and walnut. But Noccello or Nocino is big in Italy. So I did that, but I thought, you know, the rum works really well. So let's go a bit of hazelnut rum, a bit of. They're chatting football. They're chatting soccer. Oh, now we're back. I think we lost Instagram. I'm not sure. It still says live on there. Poor connection. There's something dodgy happening with the Wi-Fi in here today. There's 2 or 3 times it's dropped out. Right. And that. So this is my last Negroni. I'm going for a hazelnut Negroni. Give that a little stir down. Love hazelnut. Not had full on my cocktails. Have it. What? Ash, are you drunk? Love hazelnut. Not had full on my cocktails. Have it in yet. Ashley, that's what they do up north. They get drunk at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Baby daddy, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I can't even translate that. Right, this is a hazelnut Negroni. Boom, boom, boom. Which one's going to be my favy? Oh, that's really good. Wow. I can imagine. See, this is a little bit sweet, but this won't be as sweet as like Frangelico or Nocino. They are quite sweet. They're like Amaretto, those two. But this is really good. What other hazelnut things are there out there? Must be another hazelnut liqueur, surely. Wow, I really like that. That surprised me, that is. That's nice. That's a bit naughty. I could drink a lot of that, actually. Right. Now, Laura's kind of touched on it. Would people kind of get upset by adding lemonade to it? Lemonade's not quite the done thing. Why not? You're at home. Let's go for it. I've got fake Sprite here still. So we've got some fake Sprite if you want it down here, not a problem. However, the Americano is essentially a tonic. It's a long mixed drink. We might as well do it properly. Where's my Indesas? There we go. Indesa highball. It's one of my favourite highballs. So we will fill. Where's my ice scoop? There it is. Fill this up with ice. Oh, all my ice is kind of stuck together. There we go. Right. There we go. Right. Boom, boom, boom. Screws fingers. There we go. Right. So, Americano is basically 2 ingredients, and so we don't have the alcohol. We don't, as in the, you know, the gin, the whiskey, the rum, anything like that. We don't have that. But it's traditionally topped up with tonic water. Now, however, and this won't be the first time I've mentioned this, I'm a massive fan of using like the Mediterranean tonic waters. This is Aldi's version, but Fever Tree's is really, really good as well. Preferably the full fat version, not the semi-skimmed. But I think the citrus notes from the Mediterranean tonic really do go a lot better in here. So Laura, this one is for you. This is just going to be a classic, what do we call it? A classic Americano, essentially. Now, traditionally, they are sort of 45 mils, so 1.5 ounces each to this. So, you know, in the UK, we'd probably do, would we do a 50 ml double bubble? We might cut it down. I'm just going to do 25 mils for this. So I'm going to do 25 ml of vermouth. I'll do less tonic as well. And 25 ml of our Campari equivalent, or Mondino, or Pampel, or anything like that. And then instead of using a whole tin, we'll use half a tin of the Mediterranean tonic water. Bit more for luck. There we go. We'll do a little half one. Couple of wedges of orange in there. Give that a little stir. And this is the Americano. So the whole point being, the tonic water does give it a little bit of sweetness. Not too much, but it does kind of lengthen it out. An Americano is a great drink. You could have, what's the other one? A Milanese gin and tonic. So a Milanese gin and tonic, that's, I think I've got that right, is gin essentially, your Campari and tonic. So where we go, the Americano is vermouth out of the Campari element. We go for the Milanese, the gin and tonic, is the gin instead of the vermouth, okay? So, let's just do that. Let's just do, where's my little sample cup? There we go. See, I could flip and drink them a lot. My palate has changed dramatically over the years. There was no way in the world I would have had them, as I say, 5, 6, 7 years ago. No way. My palate couldn't handle that at all. But now, do you know what? In the afternoon, early evening, I could really, really happily drink those all day long. They're so, so good.